Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. You're watching IPO Details, and my company in focus today is Carraro India. Is one of the leading company and manufacturer of equipment for tractors and construction segment. And joining me today is Tomasco Carraro, who is the Vice Chairman and CSR Chief at Carraro, and Balaji Gopal, who is the MD of Carraro India. The company's IPO is opening on December 28th, closes on 24th of December. Price between 668 to 704. It's an OFS of 1250 crores, and that gives a company a value of little over 4,000 crores at the upper end of the price band. To begin with, Mr. Carraro, it's exciting times. You're listing your Indian subsidiary, and I guess from the group perspective, it's the first listing happening, for any entity outside outside Italy. What is the reason why you're opting for this listing?
Okay, first of all, it's for sure a very exciting moment for myself, for my family, for my company. It doesn't happen to list a company every year, especially in India, is unusual because we are an international company. The reason why we're choosing India, because India is our main market today in terms of revenues. About 50% of our employees are from India. So it's a big part of our company, but we want to grow. We have big growing opportunities in India, so we want to be full established as a Indian company. That is why we want to make an IPO to be stronger and stronger in this promising market.
Mr. Gopalan, you're listing yourself in the Indian market. Give us a sense of the business that you do in India and the segments that you cater to.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. See, Carraro India is basically a center of excellence within the Carraro group for the agriculture, tractors, transmission, and the gearboxes. We are mainly into the four-wheel drive technology for tractors and higher horsepower. So in India, our product range starts from T40 transmission, which is basically a 40 horsepower transmission, and we can go right up to 150 horsepower transmission. Now, this is the market fit that we have found is relevant for the Carraro group, and we co-design all our products. We don't give catalog products of gearboxes and axles for the customers. We work with their R&D, we co-design, and we offer differentiated product solutions to meet our customer expectations in terms of the final performance of their vehicle.
And what about in the construction side? Means what kind of vehicles do you cater to?
Yeah, construction equipment is largely covered by what we call backhoe loaders. Okay, in the construction segment entirety, backhoe loaders constitute roughly 50-55% of the entire construction equipment industry, which is pegged at approximately 1 lakh vehicles every year. Other than that, there are self-loading concrete mixers, there are teleboom handlers, there are vibratory compactors, there are motor graders. So different vehicles are getting introduced into India, keeping in mind the evolution of the construction industry that is happening over here. So high rises are very typical, big projects, big infrastructure, roads, whatever are the requirements as per the tendering process of the government, those vehicles we are able to cater to with the technology that we have and the experience that we have globally in the last 90 years in different geographies helps us in choosing the right product fit for the Indian market.
Give me a sense of the kind of customers that you have as part of your customer sales, because top 5 customers account for nearly 70% of your sales. So if you can give us an idea of who the customers are.
Yes, Carraro has had a 3-decade journey in India, and these 3 decades have been a period of relationship building, consolidation, and creating the brand reliability. So we have over this period got customers in the tractor industry. I would say almost everybody would be a customer of Carraro from India. And so is the case in the construction vehicle segment as well. We have quite a significant position in the market, supplying to most of the construction vehicle OEMs in India.
Mr. Carraro, among the top customers, Carraro Global is one of the largest. 33% of sales comes from there. What is the kind of arrangement that you have with the Indian arm, and what is the offtake agreement that you have? That is there a minimum offtake agreement that you have with them?
There is an agreement for the between the group sales that we sell at market value to the our parent company in Italy or wherever we go. So same price, same arrangement that we have with all our customer. And similarly, we have this kind of agreement for other export, because 20% of the sales from India goes to export, not only to Carraro, but to other international companies in the US, in Europe, etc.
In other words, we have what we call as the triangulation process, wherein the group headquarters and the business development team acquires business from all our customers globally. And using the Carraro Group industrial footprint, it is decided from where to source, which is the most optimum source in terms of logistics, quality, and the product availability in each plant. Since we follow the triangulation method, everything is invoiced to Carraro Group. We are under contract manufacturing for the export out of India. 35% of our production goes out of India through the triangulation process.
What is the kind
maybe
of...
Maybe it's also important to underline how we allocate production to the different plant of the group. So we basically we work on a local to local scheme. So we try to have whatever is sold in India to be made in India or in China. And for wherever we are not, we don't have a manufacturing facility, we choose the most competitive plant. And very often, I must say, India is the most competitive of our plants worldwide.
Mr. Gopalan, what is the kind of, since it's a contract manufacturing, what is the kind of margins that you work on with respect to yourself and the Carraro?
Yeah, this is a triangulation agreement, and we are governed by the transfer pricing regulations. So the tax authorities of Italy, the tax authorities in India, we need to ensure that we are working in a way that is compliant both at Italy and in India. So we follow the arm's length principle in transfer pricing, and the margins cannot be lower than the margins that we sell in the domestic market. So that becomes the bottom line, the benchmark, and then subsequently it is built up on the arm's length pricing methodology.
I was looking at your FY24 numbers. You had an EBITDA margin of 7.4% on a top line of roughly 1,800 crores. Is this margin, and it's been increasing as we speak, is this margin, the base margin, or is there a way you can go to double digits? Because in H1 you went to 10%. Yeah,
our H1 closing, the audited result, which is there in the RHP as well, we are close to 11%. Okay. So there is a trend which is very clear, and the increase in the margins are based out of deliberate actions and planning that has gone into the process. So there is a trend that you will see in the last 2 years, that we have been focusing on localization, we are focusing on improvement in efficiencies in the plant. There is a scalability of production that is happening. We are absorbing fixed costs better. So all in all, these kind of actions are directly leading to a better EBITDA margin, and the trend is very clear. From the single digit, we have already reached a comfortable double digit as of September closing audited results.
Yeah, yes.
We have a very good benchmark inside our group, that is Carraro China. China is very similar in terms of cost to India, more or less. It's half the size, but still a good size. But China started to change the technology 5 years before India. And in China, we do already EBITDA margin double digit in a high level. So there is no reason why in India one day we should do the same.
Mr. Gopalan, just a clarification here. 10.77% margin, but your expenses this year has been depressed because the royalty that you pay is been very low. You know, if I can compare 4.4 crores versus 22 crores in H1 to H1, and and you have a royalty of 0.6%, if I'm not wrong. So the entire 0.6% is not been at expense in this first half. So will that come in the second half?
No, I'll put it this way. The contribution ladder for our EBITDA, one of the factors is the neutralization of the royalty. Why is there a neutralization? It is because we have had 153 IPs for the products manufactured in India for the Indian market has been transferred by headquarters to Carraro India. In other words, Carraro India has bought the IPs. To that reason, there is no royalty that will be payable. One is the engineering royalty, which was in the range of 2.2, 2.4%, which becomes zero. And what is continuing is at a decimal level, the brand royalty, because we are still using and capitalizing on the Carraro global brand. So that will continue. And that is the reason you are getting in a tickling kind of a trickling effect for the royalty getting absorbed into our margins.
That's right. So it's you know, if we were to look at it and if we were to analyze your revenues, then for the full year, your royalty amount would be not more than 9 crores.
More or less, yes. Yeah.
Right, because last year it was more than 44 crores which went as royalty.
Yeah.
So my question is that, you know, that the impact of expenses of royalty may not be coming as a back-ended to in the second half of the year, and hence this 10% margin that you have hit in QH1 can be replicated in the second half as well.
We are hopeful. The first half, as I said, is close to 11%. So it is just anybody's guess because we don't see anything adverse that is there which we need to factor in. So we feel we are at a stable position and we would not have any crisis. It's not some spike that has happened. It's not some extraordinary income that has come in that has gone into my EBITDA. These are EBITDAs that have been cascading down based on planned actions that have been implemented over the period. And these actions will be continued in the future as well.
Can you also give us an idea of the kind of order book that you're sitting in since you supply to a lot of OEMs?
Order book is more futuristic, so I will have my limitations in sharing, but I can make a generic statement that we don't see a big concern looking at the future.
And what about your growth plans? You already have 2 plants in India. Is there a capex plan that you have for the next few years, and how are you going to fund it if you are planning to expand your operations in India?
Yeah, see, again, a futuristic question, which is difficult for me to answer. I have some restrictions, you know very well. But if you see the trend in which Carraro has been growing, it is anybody's guess that we need to have some expansion because if you see, we call it trend is your friend. And for sure, for Carraro also it applies. And I think the trend in India has been a good friend for Carraro, and I would just leave it open at that to guess the future.
Today our plant in India are about 85-90% capacity.
Yes.
We have a strong plan to grow, so it's easy to guess that something might be needed.
Exactly. There is a wave in India. There is technology absorption that is happening in India. These are areas that Carraro specializes, and we will be able to kind of feed in what the market needs. And we all know the India growth story. India is doing very well. We have been very fortunate to be doing business in this environment, and we are hopeful and confident that we are riding the right wave.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Your IPO is opening on December 20 and closes on 24th. Price between 668 to 704 is an OFS for 1250 crores, and that values the company at little over 4,000 crores at the upper end of the price band. Thank you for joining us today on NDTV Profit and coming on IPO Adda. Thank you.